Well, hey everybody, it's Mike with Screaming Eagle Bass Catcher. Today I'm going to review my 2020 Ranger RT188P boat cover. I haven't used it for on the road yet, and I'm getting ready to take a big trip down to Florida, and so I'm going to put about 1,300 miles on this cover and see how it handles the road and the wind and everything. So it'll be an extensive review. I'm going to show you how to install it and how I put it on and take it off, and we'll go through a few things with it and test it out and see if I like it or not. I'll let you know. All right. So here's some of the parts that we're going to install. They will be installed on this bolt right here sticking out. Okay, there's one for each side, and what Ranger does is they give you two different pairs of nuts. One is going to be a fine thread, and the other one is going to be a coarse thread, depending on your boat manufacturer or your engine manufacturer, how they installed the bolts that are sticking out. Mine happen to be the fine thread, and so I will be installing the fine thread one on there. They give you a little locking type washer you got to put on there first. That locks it in over here, just so it doesn't move around, twist. So make sure you put that in there. And well, let's go ahead and install it, and I'll show you how that works. All right, so what I want to do here first is put that washer in, and then I'm going to mount this, make sure the washer is in the correct position back there. Then you start your locking nut. Make sure you get it started, especially if you have fine threads, make sure you get it started as far as you can go with it, because you don't want to cross thread this. And I'm using an impact just to get it down there tight. All right. So that's what it looks like. And that's what it is on the other side as well. So once you get that in, that's the only installation that you have to do. So you'll need a 3/4 inch deep socket and an extension and a ratchet or an impact like I used. But that's the only thing, and it doesn't impede on the motor at all, or doesn't you don't even know it's there. So it's not a bad system. All right, so let's get ready to roll out the top and see how that comes out. All right, so I've taken my cover out once before and tried it on just so I know it fit right, and never took it on a road trip. And so I am going to show you how, when I folded it up, I folded it up to where I knew where to start again unfolding, and that is on the port side of the boat up front. And I'm just going to roll it out. Makes it a little easier if you know what side of the boat that to start on. That way, if you do it the same way each time, I think it just make it a lot easier on you. One thing you're going to notice is that the seats, you need to keep the seats in. This cover seems to be designed to have the seats in the boat. It might work with a pedestal seat as well, I'm not sure. But if you don't have it, I think it's going to flop down and flop around. So you'll see once I get it on there, you'll see the importance of having the seats in there. Okay, so as you can see, there are some straps here, and we'll strap those down here in a minute. Underneath where the seats are, I don't know if you can tell, but it's stitched. There's a liner underneath there, and same thing with the console, a liner, and up here by the trolling motor as well. It's reinforced. This whole piece up here is all reinforced. It just pulls over the bow, and then over on the back, you know, you can see the corner pieces, so you know they just fit over the corner, of course. There's an extra tie down straps here in the back. All right. Okay, so Ranger gives you a bag with some ratchet straps in it. Okay, and these are you know, just what they say, they're a ratchet strap. This little key hole right here is what slides into the bracket that you mounted on the back of the engine, and then of course you'll hook the tarp up with the strap and then ratchet it down. So Ranger gave me 2 of these, and we'll go ahead and install that and show you how it's done. All right, so let's get to it. So like I said, there's a keyhole back here, and what you want to do is slide it in right there. It kind of locks in place. All right, and then you have a ratchet. Up over here is the strap. So for me, I want to go up and over the one part of my dive bracket, my dive ladder. Okay, I'll snug it a little bit, not too much, because I want to get all sides done at this, you know, equally, and kind of strap it down all together. So let's get the other side done. All right, so I'm gonna just put that on there, attach it to my cover, put a couple little pulls on it, just kind of get it started, and let's strap down the rest of the boat. All right, as you can see, I have this long strap here. Okay, what this is going to do is it's going to go through underneath the motor here, and it's going to attach to the other side. Okay, just like that. So let me loosen it up a little bit. So this is going to attach to this one right here, lock in, Okay, you kind of snug it up a little bit. So everything's starting to fit. Okay, we're not tightened down yet, but it's starting to get there. All right, so we're gonna make sure all the corners are set. Kind of stretch out the cover a little bit. Make sure everything is kind of where it needs to be. Okay, over here I have a tie down that will unstrap, and we'll feed it underneath the trailer. Underneath the trailer frame, and then just snap it in. It's adjustable. We'll adjust it here in a minute. Got to do the other side. All right, on the starboard side, same thing. You just want to make sure you stretch it out. Everything looks like it's in the place it needs to be. And then we're gonna tie strap this one over the frame, back under. Make sure you have the strap straight. All right, let's see if I can get this. Okay, that's strapped in. Now, there are adjustments that you can make. Okay, and this is pretty much tightened down as far as it'll go with the Velcro. It's got a Velcro holder there, so in theory it shouldn't come apart. So let's do the other side. Strap it down. Okay, so on this side I want to show you. I got it tied down pretty tight. The Velcro sleeve is adjustable. What you want to make sure that you do, don't pull all the way up to the top to where you're leaving out a tab, because that will flop and eventually come off. Make sure that you pull it down so you have the full amount, just like that. Okay, and so even if it does this, it won't come apart and start flopping around. So make sure you do that. All right, so now that we have the side straps on there and the boat covers in place, we're going to start tightening it down and getting it to start holding onto the hull of the boat. So this one here is kind of just to help keep it in place, but your main pull is going to be on your ratchet strap. It's got a strap that goes all the way up to the front, and then it's got one that goes from the front all the way to the other side. And so you want to try to kind of ratchet these, a little bit at a time. Don't want to go crazy. Just kind of go back and forth. You'll see, it'll really crank it down. And you want to walk around the boat and make sure that it's in place. This side here looks good. Let me check the other side. All right, so I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more. can see that's pretty tight. All right, well let's take a walk around and see what it looks like. So you got this, you can cinch it down as tight as you can and it's not going to go anywhere. Then we'll just tie up the excess strap just so that it's not flopping around. We definitely don't want that. But let's see here. Corners are good. Like I said, there's reinforcement underneath here, and so that helps. As long as it's hanging below the lip of the boat there. Up front, you can see it's right where it needs to be. This is, like I said, all reinforced. That's the bow of the boat right there. Control the motors all hooked up nicely. I would say the most critical place is probably this front corner. Make sure that it's down below and it's tight enough that it's not going to want to pull up, because you definitely do not want that to pull up and start flopping around. All this stuff here helps hold it down, so I think we're in pretty good shape right here. All right. I got the cover put on. I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to my trip down to Florida. Actually, I'm hoping to catch some peacock bass. It's about 650 miles each way, and this will be a real good road test for my Ranger boat cover. I will get some video of it on the road, and also if I have any problems, I'll be sure to show you. Otherwise, we'll see you at the other end. We'll see you down in Florida. All right, looks like we about 38 miles in our trip, and before I get onto the interstate, I-75 there, I want to pull over at a gas station and check the cover, make sure there's nothing going on just before I get onto the interstate. All right, everything looks like it's where it's supposed to be. Let's check the straps. I'm going to give it a little extra stretch, but everything looks good. Make sure we get this Velcro set just right. There we go. All right. Well, so far so good. Looks like the cover is holding up, but it's got a long ways to go. So we will we'll check it here, maybe a few hundred miles, and see what it's see how it does. All right, let's get going. Well, it's morning time at the hotel, and just checking on the boat. We had rain overnight, and I wanted to see what the cover looked like. As you can see, it's still wet and everything. Unfortunately, it does want to hold a puddle, so that's a little bit of a downer. I'll have to try to get that out. but otherwise looks like the cover held up pretty well. A little bit of a puddle on this side, but I think I can just maybe get a hold of it and get rid of it. That side there is not too bad. All right. Well, overall, cover did very well on the way down, so very happy with it. All right, guys. So I made it about 735 miles to my destination. The boat cover worked perfectly. It did hold a little bit of water this morning from an overnight rain, but it didn't leak into the boat at all, and it was easy to pull it out, so it wasn't a big deal. I'm gonna fold it up and go fishing, and we'll get back with you on the drive back and see how the rest of the trip goes. And after about 1,500 miles, we'll see what the cover, how it ends up. You know, if it's gonna rip or if it's gonna stay strong, we're gonna find out. So we'll get back with you here in a little bit. Alright, so I'm on my way back from Florida, back up to North Georgia, and check on the cover here at the rest stop. Everything looks good so far. Check and see the tension here. It's good. Check and see the tension on this side. Well, looks good as far as I can tell. All right. Well, we got some more miles to put on it, so hopefully everything will stay good. We'll check back in a little bit. All right, guys. I got about 250 miles left on my trip. Let's check out the trailer cover. As you can see, we had rain last night and kind of holds a substantial amount of water, which probably will stretch the canvas over time. So I'll get rid of that as soon as I can here. But the rest of it looks pretty good. Oh, we got water on this side tonight, or today. I guess it holds water on you. I don't think it leaks, but it just holds water. So we'll take care of that and hit the road. All right, guys. I'm back from my week-long trip down to Florida to do some bass fishing and some peacock bass fishing and some clown knife fishing. And I want to let you know how the boat cover did. So I put on right around 1,500 miles, and it held up very well, I think. There's a couple issues that happened that I'll talk about, but overall, you know, I didn't have to readjust it or take it off and put it back on. I did very well in the rain, and you know, I cruised down I-75 the majority of the trip, and I was doing 78 miles an hour pretty much most of the time. So I thought that was a pretty good test for the boat, and you know, I think it did pretty well. So some of the issues that I have with it are, you know, it held water. It held water over here, you know, and it held water on the other side as well. And it was just, you know, from being parked, but you could see, you know, it's easy for water just to sit in here. I think the problem with this is that, you know, it stretches it out because it's a lot of weight that could sit there. So, you know, that was an issue I had to deal with. And then the only other thing that I came across was this area here, the back of the boat here on the stern. The cover must have slapped against the engine cowl and just kind of rubbed the paint off it. I don't think it did any damage, or there's no holes, but it just kind of, you know, rubbed the paint. So that's something that you know, will have to deal with if you travel down the road with it. Overall, my latches and everything else held up fine. Didn't have an issue with, you know, a corner coming up or anything flapping. You know, my strap held firmly to the Velcro and not a problem. You know, front of the boat looked good, no issues there. You know, so overall, a pretty good situation with the cover. Now that we ran through some of the issues and all that good stuff, I'm going to gonna take the cover off and show you how I fold it. I don't know if it's the right way or wrong way, it's just the way I do it. It seems to work for me. This way here, it makes it easy for me to take it on and off because I know where to start and where to finish. On this trip, I got to do it quite a few times because I did cover my boat when it was parked on the trailer at my buddy's house. And of course, I had to deal with the water next day if it rained, but that was just part of it. So let's get to it. I'm going to show you how to you know, take the cover off and get it folded. So I just take the strap and I kind of throw it over, that way it all kind of folds up inside of it, you know, inside of itself there. And all right, let's continue. All right, so got this strap all tied up here, just keep it from flapping around. All right, and then we just release the tension, our main strap, and just take it off, put it away. All right, well, we got that part undone. So now let's do this other side. Push it, release it, and take it off. All right, so I'll come over here and take off this side strap, kind of throw it up top, and I'll take the pressure off the cover so I can pull it around this front end here. All right. So what I want to do is I want to kind of flop it up. Now what I do is I'll kind of pull it all the way over to where it's, you know, like a two-piece, you know, fold it in half. All right. So we got to kind of fold it in half there. I'm going to fold it again Okay, so I'm just kind of throwing all the straps on top so that when I roll it, that they just stay inside. And I'm rolling it from the back of the boat to the bow, okay? That way I know when I go to put it on the next time, I start at the bow and just unroll it to the back of the boat and flip it over. And I'm always on the port side. That's just the way I do it. You guys can do it on the starboard side, doesn't matter. For my boat, this is what works. And I just roll it up. You know, nothing too pretty, too fancy. I just put it in a plastic, plastic garbage bag when I'm done, just to keep it, keep the bugs from getting in it and all that. But there you have it. It'll fit into a garbage bag, no problem, and you can store it that way. As long as it's not wet, it doesn't need to be aired out or anything. I think it's fine. But it did a great job on my boat, and I do like it, and I'll definitely be using it when I travel. So basically, I think as a travel cover, it does well. If you are going to park it on the side of your house because you don't have a garage or a shop and you want to keep it covered, which I wouldn't blame you, I think you're going to have to do a little modifying underneath the tarp, underneath the cover, to keep the water from wanting to settle there. So you're going to have to maybe put a big blow up, ball, or maybe some kind of stick sticking up or something to make the water run off the boat and not stick inside the cover. That's the only thing I have to say about that as far as this boat cover. I think it works great as a travel cover. I know you can't really use it as a in the water type cover because there's nothing really to connect and string it all together and tighten it. So it's really not designed for that. It's designed to sit on the boat and keep the dust out, keep the water out if you're maybe on a carport or something like that with it, if you're underneath the carport. But traveling down the road, I think it worked great. I'm really happy with it, and I pretty much give it a good thumbs up. Guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please subscribe and share it. I just came back from a long trip, and I went fishing down in Florida, South Florida, where I grew up, and it was great to get back there and fish. I was going for a couple new species that I'd never caught before, peacock bass and a clown knife fish. And so if you want to see how I did, then why don't you subscribe to my channel and check out my upcoming videos. I think you'll enjoy them. I'm not going to tell you how well I did or how bad I did, but I think the videos will be pretty exciting. So check them out, and if you like my channel, please subscribe. I appreciate it, and it's great fishing with you guys. So let's do it again.